Hey everybody, it's another episode of Fitstyle podcast. Myself, Jonathan Traumer. We have Zach here, as well as our good friend and guest, Jackson, today, again, for a second episode with us. So today we were going to talk about just, supplements we take, the timing of the supplements, what we're doing. Do we take supplements with food? Just maybe some stuff we take that you might not be aware of, or just affirming stuff you already do take. I'll just go ahead and start with some honorable mentions of things I take daily. Number one would be ashwagandha. That really helps with my testosterone levels, which also helps with other things like muscle and fat loss. Same thing with yohimbe. Really helps my mood. Another thing would be magnesium and potassium that I take, as well as a fiber / digestive enzyme supplement. Really helps me when I was like in the off season, really digesting all those carbs, not really feeling as bloated, helps me be super regular. And the last one I'll mention is more of like a recovery supplement. I like to take melatonin and CBD after I'm really sore, just to really help me, sleep, to be okay throughout the day and not feel like that like stress and pain from like, DOMs of like the workout and stuff like that. So that's mine. Zach, if you want to go with yours.
Yeah. So I don't really take a ton of supplements. The ones that I do take, I have my pre-workout before the gym, obviously a little boost of caffeine, little energy. The second one is I also take melatonin, and just as sort of like you said, the recovery, kind of help with sleep aid a little bit. That's been huge. I take like whey, like protein powder, for like protein shakes. That's usually post workout, especially with like your whey isolate and that kind of stuff. And then I don't take this religiously, but creatine, that's something else that I have. And then that's pretty much it. I try to take like as much of like a minimalist approach to these things as I can. That's personal philosophy, but that's pretty much it for me.
Textbook. I like it. All right. Yeah. And Jackson, just some mentionable ones for you.
Just kind of like my top five would be, because I could go on a little bit longer, but would be like, multivitamin, of course. I take krill oil, a little bit different than fish oil. Some studies say it's a little more like bioavailable for the body. Turmeric and a curcumin complex helps with like inflammation, and stuff like that a lot. Creatine daily. Everybody should take that. I mean, it's like the most researched and studied supplement there is on the market. D3, vitamin D3, that's another big one. Like 95% of people in the United States are vitamin D3 deficient. And vitamin K2 as well on top of that. And then also magnesium glycinate before bed is kind of like my sleep aid. Like how you said, you use melatonin or CBD before bed. Magnesium glycinate is another great option to use. And then also red rice yeast, which helps a little bit with just like cardiovascular health and stuff like that. So
Interesting. I haven't heard of that last one before.
red rice yeast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big one. I think more so in the maybe towards the like the enhanced side. I think because I got a lot of like enhanced dudes I see take it, because obviously when you're on gear, heart health is an even bigger concern.
Mhm.
Um, and that's what this helps a lot with is heart health, keeping like cholesterol, like lowering cholesterol and stuff like that. So
That's really good. I've heard of people taking a lot of endurance runners and stuff is like supplements or just the food of like have like beetroot or like beet juice, beet extract that really helps with like your heart health, and just it feels like it's easy, like it's weird to describe. I've taken it and it helps you like feel like you're breathing easier. It's kind of interesting. I would take it in a supplement. BPN subs, they have like their um, greens and reds that they have that has beet juice in both of them. So super good.
Take both of those as well.
So
But
yeah. Um, but yeah, that's really good. There was a couple other ones. I know that Zach mentioned like ones like I take all that stuff too, pre-workout, creatine, obviously we all take, which really helps with, output in the gym as well as keeping on size. Obviously whey protein, 2 scoop life every day in the oatmeal or cereal. But I wanted to touch base on, you mentioned Krilla. Now, like I take fish oil, everyone says, oh, take your omega-3s, blah, 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 blah. Like, what is the real difference? I think you said it was like it's more what bio
yeah,
something, easier to digest.
so there's a lot of studies that say krill oil is a little more bioavailable to your body than just a regular omega-3 like fish oil. And of course, like as far as fish oil supplements in general, just a note, if you eat like 3 fish meals a week, preferably obviously fattier fish like salmon, stuff like that, you should be set when it comes to omega-3s and stuff. So if you eat fish 3 times a week at least, you don't need to take fish oil supplement whatsoever. But yeah, so the krill oil is just a little more bioavailable for your body. And I actually have some facts on it right here. It also helps with like inflammation as well as like the turmeric and curcumin do.
Hmm.
So other than that, I'm pretty sure it's has all the same benefits as like a regular fish oil.
Maybe just the way people, digest it and stuff. I know some people have used that because like the burpiness you get with fish oil. I've even seen tricks where like people like put their fish oil in like the freezer and take it. You don't get that weird taste. It's never bothered me. I take it with just everything else and I'm fine, but I know it's been a problem for some people. So,
Just a
but
side note on the fish oil stuff. Just something I remembered. We were at the gym one time, and I'm not going to say her name. I'll leave that out. But me and my buddy were talking about like supplements, and fish oil came up, and she was standing right there and had said something to the extent of, "Oh yeah, I don't take a fish oil because I'm scared to get fat, or I don't want it to make me fat, or something like that." It's just something random like that made
mhm.
0 sense. Like it's not quite how that works. That's all I could think in my head, but
Yeah, that could
whatever.
go for
So
anything. People don't want to eat fats because they think they're going to get fat. And I'm like, well, it's
same thing
actually
with
essential for your
carbs.
body.
And yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
carbs.
which could be a supplement. I know people take intra carb supplements and stuff like that. I mean, I used to do that. That really helps. I just found that it was just much easier to just eat food, like a pre-workout snack. It
Mhm.
I don't know if it's just like this weird ritual thing. Like I just rather eat food and just
Well,
get it
it's
that
better
way.
that way to get whole foods in, obviously. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't knock it, to take like an intra or like EAAs, stuff like that, BCAs, all that good stuff. But I used to take that stuff, but I find that if I'm getting, good quality sourced, food, meats and stuff like that, I I'm good. So
Mhm.
it's the same thing with creatine too. I mean, obviously it's produced in the body and you get it from eating red meats primarily. So if you have enough
Right.
red meat in your diet, you should be okay. But it's one of those things where it's not going to hurt um to take
mhm.
it. And obviously to find out all this stuff, the best thing to do would be to get your blood work done and see where, your D3 levels are at and all this other stuff. But
I should really do that.
I
Colin
did.
just said that the other episode. He's
Yep,
saying his
I
levels are all
did.
messed up.
It tells you a lot that you wouldn't have thought, especially in his case. Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, who would have ever thought somebody that young would have a problem like that? But
Mhm.
Oh, I totally believe it though. Like being overworked and overstressed, and you're just shot. Like dieting the wrong way, then bulking the wrong way, then like working out, working on a farm, 9 to 5, everything. You know, me and my brother both have this job where we did truck delivery stuff, and it was really early hours. So we're waking up at 4:30, getting to work at 5, and so you're pounding caffeine. And at some point, like, it's just not normal. You're waking up, it's dark. You go to bed, it's dark. And your adrenal glands are just shot because you really should be consuming caffeine as soon as you wake up or the first couple hours. Everyone does it, of course. They pound coffee, but it just really screws you up. And that can affect it too. And of course, you just keep pushing. At some point, you need less caffeine and more rest.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of things to make note of when it comes to, hormone levels, like, how nicotine, all that. I mean, all that stuff has a play in it. So it's all
alcohol.
stuff you got to take in mind. Alcohol, yeah. So
Yeah. What I do want to talk about is a little bit about like timing. Like, I usually just take everything in the morning. Honestly, I usually try to take it right after breakfast, if not my second meal, because I don't know about you guys, but if I take something on an empty stomach, I get nauseous. So I know some of them I could probably get okay with. Like, you have like the digestive gummies. So like, obviously there's like whatever the heck it's called. I can't think of it right now. That like gum, whatever in it, or gelatin. Yeah, there. But I usually try to take my supplements, stuff like yeah, right now I'm kind of bad because I'm just taking them all at once. But if I were to split up, I'd probably take stuff like fish oils and stuff before bed. Obviously melatonin and CBD before bed. But usually my basics, like a multi or like the yohimbine, ashwagandha, usually that's in the morning, or like B12 to get the focus. What do you guys do?
um
Or
you can,
sorry,
you can
Zach,
go
I
ahead
can
if you
go
want.
first.
It don't, yeah. It
Sorry.
doesn't matter.
No, I kind of have like the same problem where, you mentioned like if you're on an empty stomach and you're trying to take this stuff, it can kind of like, throw your stomach for a loop, I guess. Doesn't feel really good. And I've tried to figure out like other ways around it. But I mean, the simple solution is, for me at least, I'm guessing for you maybe, is to just like eat something with it. And that's like the biggest thing I have is like with my pre-workout. There's been times, and this might depend on the pre-workout too, but there's been times where I'll take it before going into the gym. And if I'm going in on an empty stomach, especially like not now, but back in the day when I used to wake up at like 5 to go to the gym first thing in the morning, you'd be essentially fat. You're fasted is what you are. And it's not like I don't want to eat a big ass meal as soon as I wake up before I go to the gym at like 5 in the morning. So taking that pre-workout, like, that can kind of like mess your stomach up a little bit. Or at least it did with me. Like, it was weird how it, the workouts in and of themselves, I feel like were just of like a lower quality. But you don't have to eat like a lot of stuff. Like, now it's my new thing now is like these Rice Krispie treats. Like, just like pop a couple of those, or like bring some with me to the gym, or maybe like a bowl of cereal, or like a PB&J sandwich, or just something like that you can get in. Not right before, maybe like an hour before, 45 minutes or what have you. It changes things. The stomach feels fine. Don't have any issues with that. So it's definitely something that I would recommend for most people, at least. If anybody else has had that problem, that's probably what I would say. But
I had an issue too, because like a lot of people, like, they work out right before work, so they have to get up super early before first shift. Like, I would not recommend taking pre-workout on an empty stomach, not at all. Like, you're gonna like crap your brains out, and like just even like a bagel, even if you have nothing on it, or like you said, like a peanut butter sandwich, like, is perfect. Like, I remember when I was doing marathon training, like, I didn't track my food at that point in time because you're just going so many miles. But you kind of learned what sits well with your stomach before a run and what doesn't. And you really learn about eating to fuel, not eating to like recover and stay alive. Like, people usually work out so they burn off what they ate. It's like, no, you should eat so it fuels what you're gonna do.
right.
And then of course recover from it. And I really learned how to do that, because when you go on a run and it's an hour or two that you continuously do something, if you ate something wrong, you'll definitely know. So then I knew what worked with my body pre-workout, and the timing. Like, I don't really want to wait more than 2 hours of eating before I work out, because I'm just going to get hungry during my workout. So I try to, like, probably, I definitely don't eat right before. It's probably like as short as 30 minutes, but no more than 2 hours. But usually like the hour range is really good before workout to eat.
Yeah, it's all about, just striking a good balance with that. And to your point about, people that work first shift and you have to wake up really early and do these things, and you want to go to the gym beforehand. Obviously, like we just kind of talked about there, pre-workout is not always a really good idea if you're in that like demographic. But like a good alternative for that, like if you're going to wake up, or at least something that I've found to be helpful in the past, an ice cold glass of water, and then like a piece of fruit. Like I used to live within walking distance of my gym, so I would take like an apple with me and eat it on the way, or like one of those little oranges or whatever, little piece of fruit, because there's a lot of natural sugar in there too, and it's still going to wake you up. And that on top of the ice cold water, like it really does a good job of kind of giving you not a ton of energy. You're not going to be stuffed, but it's going to help you get through like the workout. And then afterwards, you have your breakfast or whatever. But yeah.
I've used hot water and lemon juice to wake up, or of course black coffee. That works.
Yeah.
Too. So
yeah, whatever works. All good choices.
Can't do the whole pre-workout in the morning fasted. I don't know about you guys, but I get like a headache. Like mid-workout, I'll start getting a headache, and like my stomach won't feel right. And I don't know if it's because all the stims in it, not necessarily like the caffeine, but like all the other stimulants that they add into them, or what. But yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah. What is your timing for your vitamins, Jackson?
So morning, normally I'll take my multivitamin, the krill oil, and the turmeric and curcumin in the morning. Oh, and the red rice seeds too. And then before bed, about an hour or so before bed, really no more, no less than an hour, no more than an hour and a half, 2 hours. I take the magnesium glycinate just because it's a great sleep aid on top of some other things too. Your vitamin D3 and K2, because when you're sleeping, they kind of say that's like when you're most vitamin D deficient, is like, when you're covered up in the dark. And then also normally that's when I take my creatine too, just because my schedule, the way it works out, I work out after I get back from work, so later at night. So I take that post workout with the rest of the supplements. And as far as the creatine goes, at least I feel you can take that whenever throughout the day, as long as you're consistent with it day in and day out. And then the digestive enzyme, obviously I take one with each meal. So that's just kind of every day.
Really?
With every meal. Yeah.
I usually just take it in the morning, but that sounds good. I've seen, like you mentioned, Revive supplements earlier. I've seen people take it like before specific meals, like a high carb or like a big cheat meal, like glutamine or stuff like that. So I never thought about like doing it that.
Yeah, the only meal I don't take it with is breakfast, just because my breakfast is normally like an apple and a Fit Crunch bar, because I've found personally that if I wake up in the morning and eat a super high carb breakfast and then just go straight to work, I'm super tired, lethargic, don't want to do anything. So if I eat less carbs in the morning, I tend to wake up a little more. I don't know, it's just weird. Just how my body works. It's different for everyone, obviously.
I can do that. I can do a big carb meal first thing, but if I do it like midday or afternoon, I get sluggish and tired. But like I usually have a pretty decent sized breakfast. Like I'll have like cup of oats, 2 scoops of protein powder, and like even like a cup of fruit in it. Like almost 100 grams of carbs, like 60 grams of protein. And I usually get going pretty good. But if I do that midday, like over 500 calories, I want to take a nap. Like,
So that's
yeah.
like
Hits you like a
me
ton of bricks.
yeah, like me pre-workout, like my pre-workout meal is right around normally like 100 grams of carbs, maybe a little over.
Mhm.
And it's like I have to hit my window, like, and I eat my meal, and then like I have to be at the gym within the next hour. Otherwise, that 100 grams of carbs causes such a big insulin spike. And then, obviously I eat some peanut butter with it, like to slow down the digestion of the carbs and kind of slow down that curve. So it's not just a straight spike and then a crash. But because there's so many carbs that you're consuming at once like that, there's that big giant insulin spike, and then there can be that crash. And when that crash happens, I mean, you're just out.
I've had it happen. Yeah, where you just have that meal too soon, and like you'll even have pre-workout in you, so you'll feel a little itchy and you'll feel good to go, but you're just exhausted, like you just did your workout, but you haven't even started. And you crash so hard. Yeah, that's important. So
I try to have like 8 to 10 grams of fat pre-workout with that meal, just to slow down the digestion some, but obviously not too much because you don't want to be digesting that throughout your workout. So
Right.
yeah. You should I love having like carbs and like peanut like a bagel with peanut butter is like perfect pre-workout. So
Yeah.
good.
Definitely a
yeah,
good
that
idea.
creamer rice grind, man.
Yeah. Speaking of Anthony Mantello with the other episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you mentioned turmeric. Do you ever season with turmeric or you just take the supplement? Because I know some people don't like it.
Wait, what was that?
As far as turmeric, do you like ever
Yeah.
season with it?
No, I just take it as a supplement. I know some people do. Um, I use a lot of cinnamon, which is kind of the same deal. Cinnamon helps with
Mhm.
the decrease of inflammation a lot too. So I use a lot of
Mhm.
cinnamon, but no, I don't season with.
I heard cinnamon helps digest carbs too. I don't know if that's
It
true.
might. I know it helps
But
with
some people use it.
inflammation, so
Okay.
it might. That's another thing with that red rice yeast, though. It does help with digestion as well, or help somewhat, not as much as like a digestive aid, but
Yeah. Hmm.
so
Awesome.
Interesting.
Is there anything you guys do more for like recovery, like supplement wise? Like obviously like physically, like stretching, massage gun, all that. But is there any like stuff you guys take, or even like not even like something that's daily, something that's like an as needed? Like I don't take melatonin every night or CBD every night. That's just more so like a as needed if it's like today I'm having these like gummies and stuff today because like my legs are just fried and real my back's really feeling it and stuff from like RDLs and squats and stuff like that, or like shoveling a ton. So is there anything either of you do, like Zach, that you do recovery wise?
Well, I mean, just to kind of build off of what you mentioned about melatonin, I mean, that's kind of my approach to it as well. It's definitely not like an everyday thing. I don't feel like I need it every day, and if I don't do it every day, I don't really feel like I'm missing out on anything. But maybe like 3 to 4 days a week, probably. Usually weekdays where sleep is more of a factor, like having to get up for work and all that. I'll definitely do that. I do think that there is a difference, but I also try to make a point to not take it every day, not just because I don't really need it, but I don't want to need it. Like I don't want to get to the place where there's no way I can get good rest unless I take my melatonin. Like I don't want to get to that place. So I purposely don't take it every day. Like I said, it might be like an every other day sort of thing, and that works fine. Like I really don't have any issue with doing that. How big are like the tablets or the gummies that you take for that? Like
I could go
milligrams?
get them real quick. I think it's 350 milligrams. I want to say.
It's how many?
Let me go get. They're literally like right here. I'll go get them.
Okay. Did I hear him say 350 milligrams?
yeah, that's not. Yeah, that would think that might kill you, honestly. That's a lot. I'm trying to think.
Oh,
What's
okay.
happening?
No,
How
I'm
long are you
dumb. No, I'm
hibernating for?
dumb.
It should be like
Okay, guys.
5 milligrams or
You're like a
something.
I
you're
know
like
it
a
was
polar
something
bear.
50. Okay, it's 750 milligrams per package.
Okay.
So
So what's that?
these are
Serving
VAF
size?
Community Health and Wellness Foundation. This was actually at the show at OCB Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah.
These are, I mean, I even take these, like, you don't have to take them before bed. You can take them during the day. It says serving size is 4 pieces. You're supposed to take one every 6 hours. So one of them, $7.50 per.
Is this
It was about
you're
100
referring
of
to
them.
serving, right?
Okay, so it's probably like, okay, so there's about 100 of them. So it's about 75 milligrams
So wait, is that the CBD though?
per. Yeah, this is just CBD.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
it's,
We thought you were talking about melatonin.
oh, melatonin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, melatonin. What? 5 grams can go a long way.
Well,
Well,
that's why
that's
we
the
looked at
insight
each other.
people
We
were
were like,
expecting.
It's like,
that
dude,
might be
you
a
think,
little
Yeah, that's
much.
slightly less
yeah.
shocking.
No,
Yeah.
melatonin, I take, been a while. I've taken as much as 10 grams in one sitting. That's when like I'm like wired from like my workout because I had pre-workout and now I got to go to bed because I got to wake up early.
Yeah.
I've taken, because I think like I used to take those Ollie, I think it's pronounced
Yeah.
AOLLY. I would take like those sleep aid ones, but I realized there was only like, I think it was like 4 milligrams per, and I would take 2. Then I found there's these like off-brand Meyer ones that you can take. I think they're 5, and I take 2 of those
Yeah.
sometimes. But it's been a while since I've taken melatonin. I know some companies make like a bedtime recovery thing where melatonin is in there, but it also has like electrolytes and like some other stuff. There's this
Right.
one called Tranquility that I have. That one was good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I used
I
to
don't
take
know.
one.
But
I don't know about you guys with like melatonin. I personally don't really take it that much. It works, but I feel the next morning, and this might just be me, but I feel groggy the next morning after I take it. I don't know if that's just me or
I think it's if you don't have enough hours of sleep. Like, so melatonin definitely helps you, naturally fall asleep, but I wouldn't recommend taking it if you have to get up in less than 8 hours. Like,
yeah.
because you will feel tired because of the way your sleep cycle is, and I think it's still in your system. Because if it's like 11 o'clock and I can't sleep, I need to wake up at like 5 a.m. for whatever reason. Like, I'm not going to take it. But if it's like, hey, like I want to naturally just have a really good night's rest because I've been like anxious or whatever, or just stress, or maybe I'm fine. It's just I have caffeine in my system from my workout, and I just want to go to bed, and it's like 10 at night, and I wake up at 7 or 8. I would take it then.
Yeah. And if you're just gonna like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap for like 3 hours or 4 hours, or like you said, basically anything less than 8, like it's really not beneficial. But I mean, Jackson, I don't think you're alone though, because some people that I know that take melatonin, they've kind of reported like similar circumstances. And that's not necessarily saying that they're getting like less than the required amount of sleep, but they might just be like kind of groggy like when they wake up. Like I feel like that's a fairly common thing for a lot of people. It's just like one of those effects that you kind of have to deal with, sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I switched over to taking magnesium glycinate before bed as like my sleep aid and there's other things too. But and honestly, since I've switched over, like it's not groggy the next morning, and I've honestly had probably the best like night's sleep like I've ever had. So that's a really good alternative too to look at.
Yeah.
Well, I
Whatever
also
works.
notice like your food, like what kind of macronutrients and the size of your meal before bed. That definitely affects me too. I notice that sometimes if I have like a low carb, super high protein meal, sometimes that like keeps me like really alert. Or sometimes like I like to say my fats for like the end of the day. I just feel more satiated. Like I coined the term like fat and happy. Like you think of like on Thanksgiving, you get really stuffed and you just want to sleep. Like kind of like that. So sometimes I'll like purposely have like bigger meals to help me sleep, as well as like the opposite, where if I have too light of a meal, I'm up because I'm hungry. Like I can't fall asleep because of that.
Right.
So
Yeah, with the calories that I'm at right now, this is probably I know for a fact it's not the best way to be doing it, but it's how it works. My pre-bed meal right now is about 1,400 calories and like almost 200 grams of carbs, like an hour
no
before bed.
wonder.
So it's definitely
What
not the most ideal situation.
Oh
what
my
is
gosh.
like what type of food, you know?
What is it?
Yeah, like what makes up like the
What's the
1,400 calories?
stats?
So normally like my pre-bed meal, just because it's gonna be the easiest carbs to digest, um, is cream of rice, honey for extra carbs, and then some peanut butter, uh, protein, normally a double scoop of protein in there. Um, and I think that's it. But it's like 130 grams dry weight cream of rice, like 40 grams of
Oh,
honey, 2 scoops of protein. So it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of food.
Yeah,
But
that'll put
it's
you to
just
sleep.
yeah, it will. And like
forty.
there's no other way of doing it because I can't eat too much like throughout the day, otherwise I get tired, like he said.
Right.
Or like my workouts just aren't great. Like if I'm super full, my workouts suck. So
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's a
Because
hard.
I can get like half that. I can get like a cup of oats is like 100 grams, and then like 2 scoops of protein. Okay, whatever. It's like 60 grams of protein or whatever. And then usually I don't put any peanut butter in it because I'm like trying to save a little fat. But even that is like 700 calories easily. Just like cup of oats, 2 scoops of protein. Like just that is like a lot. So,
and
Yeah,
the
ooh.
most anabolic thing you can eat, and it's part of that meal, is some chocolate milk. I swear by chocolate milk. Ever since like high school, there's something about it.
I had some Fairlife chocolate milk today in my cereal. It was super good. Yeah.
Go through like 3 of those jugs a week, like no joke. Like Monday through like Saturday, I'll
Whoa.
go through. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep.
Whoa. How many grams of fat does Shake have you on right now? Jesus.
Uh, Normal days 75, and then it refeeds 85.
Okay.
So it's not
Okay.
terribly high, but
Yeah, it's not that. It's fine. I was at 75. Um, I believe we're coming up on time. I don't have a timer here. I'm just looking at it. It's like 5:46. So I don't know if we're close or whatnot. But any last minute things as far as supplements we take? I mean, we covered a lot, even like nutrition.
Yeah, this was good. I think we covered a pretty like wide variety of topics, at least not super broad, but like enough to establish a pretty good baseline. I feel like.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I liked it though. I thought it was good.
Good.
I definitely think it was a good informational piece for sure.
Yeah.
So
Take what works for you. If it doesn't work for you, stop taking it because supplements are not cheap always. Do your research of what the supplement actually does to help you. And if you can get that supplement in a natural source like food, always opt for that. If you have a hard time getting it from a natural source like food, like for me, fish oil, because I don't eat a lot of fish, maybe that's a good thing to do. See how you feel, and just try different things out. So,
I think
Um,
one
all
more thing
right.
that we didn't touch on real quick that is probably the biggest supplement, and it's free, is rest and recovery, sleep. Biggest thing, most important supplement I think you probably could get. So
definitely
Absolutely.
true.
True, true,
Yeah.
true.
Um, what? Just one more thing I was gonna add. I forgot earlier, but I just remembered. Um, if you're gonna like what John said, with promoting like doing your own research for a lot of these supplements, whether it's the ones that we mentioned or if it's something else that you're kind of looking into. Um, a lot of supplements, most of them actually, like they're not like regulated by the FDA. Okay. And that can kind of make things scary, especially because, that companies can essentially, they can kind of just formulate whatever they want, and then they can just market it off, and they can, make these claims, and the accuracy is like a highly debatable thing for a lot of these like supplements, depending on who you ask. But a really good website to go to, it's called Labdoor. It is a private company. I think they're based out of California, but basically their initiative is to do a lot of the research on these supplements that the FDA doesn't do. And they kind of have like a whole grading scale, and they have a pretty wide array of like supplements that they look into. So if you like are looking to get into supplements or something, if you want to do your own research, that's definitely something that I would recommend. Definitely helpful.
For sure. That's a good note. They're not regulated, and honestly, trial and error is always good. Always double check.
Yeah.
Stuff. You can't just pick up some random thing you found at GNC or something someone has a discount code for online. Like, obviously, you need to make sure it's reputable and good. Yeah.
Look at the Blackstone Labs thing that just got wrapped up, that whole court case, with them putting stuff that shouldn't have been in products like pre-workout in there. They're anabolic steroid compounds, and they're putting them in the pre-workouts and stuff. So that's a big thing too if you're a natural competitor, is watching the supplements that you take, the brand, pre-workouts and stuff, because you don't know what's in them, and then you win your show and you pop your drug test, you're gonna be at a loss, like what did I do? So
Right.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
But
get the right stuff, kids. More of the story.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening in on another episode of the Fitstyle podcast. Again, myself, John Trom, Zach, and our guest Jackson. Follow the links below. Hit us up, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Peace.
Take it easy.
cheers.